evening's meeting. Good afternoon, evening, everyone. Today is September 3rd. This is our work session for the month of September. Let's start by calling the meeting to order and doing a roll call, please.
Councilmember Chmielewski.
Present.
Councilmember Cerna.
Here.
Councilmember Barton.
Here.
Councilmember Elam.
Here.
Councilmember Frey.
Here.
Vice President Kingsley.
Here.
President Sokolowski.
Here.
And Mayor Aronson.
Here.
Thank you.
As a reminder, council, please make sure your microphones are turned on so folks at home can hear our conversations this evening. So next item on the agenda is the president's announcement. So today we held an executive session prior to our work meeting, and the topics were personnel, legal, and property matters. Brittany, it looks like we received one public comment following our August 20th meeting regarding the CDBG grant application from Mrs. Elizabeth Meister at 337 West 6th Avenue.
Yes, her comment was directed to Chris Stettler, who responded to.
Wonderful, thank you. Any other in the interim? Okay. All right, moving right along to our
August 28th, 2005, based on Paul DeBona's vision as a culinary student in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Whereas Paul's desire to come to Conshohocken Borough was based on a Philadelphia Inquirer article detailing the future development on the Conshohocken riverfront to include multi-unit apartments and condominiums, new corporate high-rises, and upgraded parks and open spaces. And whereas this growth and evolution promised an influx of clientele, allowing for Pepperoncini to not only thrive, but allow for future growth and expansion. And whereas Pepperoncini has therefore become not only a staple, high-volume restaurant in Conshohocken, but has also evolved into a full-service, off-site catering company, allowing for Pepperoncini to share in many important life moments for clients, including birthdays, engagements, weddings, showers, corporate functions, all resulting in long-lasting and strong bonds between Pepperoncini and its customers. And whereas Pepperoncini has therefore accomplished becoming the cozy corner bar with fine Italian cuisine over the past 20 years and will strive to continue to serve the borough in that capacity for the next 20 years. And whereas Pepperoncini takes pride in supporting the local community and charities, all the while fostering a strong core staff who take every opportunity to share meals and drinks with each other, former employees, and the community. And now, therefore, the Borough of Conshohocken wishes to extend its congratulations and commend Pepperoncini for 20 years of distinguished business and service within the borough. So proclaimed this third day of September of this year, 2025.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Do we want to take any pictures?
Yeah, we're gonna do pictures. Can we grab you for some
Yeah.
photos? So, anyone for?
Everybody?
Everybody?
Everybody, I'm not dressed for this.
I'll be down there for my Thursday night shift.
Sure.
So Steph, let's talk about the block party and then we'll do both motions back to back. All right, Hi.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for that, that was very nice. Appreciate it. So basically, we're just trying to spread out a little bit because with the amount of people that will be coming will be, too many for inside. So we're looking to close down the street for the hours. I wrote down, I slipped my mind, but I have the application, 2 to 6. And
We
just,
close from noon to 7.
Right.
So we're going to go to 6.
thanks, Ange. Thank you. And just put some tables and chairs in the street, just to spread out, basically, is all we're trying to do. We're going to invite the neighbors, come, even though they may not be regulars, some of the neighbors, come have a meal on us. We're going to do a pig roast and traditional Italian fare.
What day is this? It's a Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday.
So it would be Sunday, October 12th. The road would be closed from noon to 7. The event would be around 2 to 6. And Paul has provided all the information we need. It has been circulated to the directors. They've reviewed it. They have no issues, and they've also provided their COI.
Great.
So we have everything we really need.
Council have any questions related to the block party or shutting down the street for this event for the community? No. Okay, well, sounds like a plan. Congratulations. All right, so hearing the presentation and the motion, the proclamation, the first motion that I'm looking for from council this evening is to approve Proclamation 2025-07, recognizing the 20th anniversary of the restaurant called Pepperoncini.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Then the second motion this evening would be to approve the block party request from Pepperoncini in the celebration of their 20th anniversary on Sunday, October 12th, and the event is from 2 to 6, with the road closing from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right. Wonderful.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, you're all good. Yep.
Thank you. All right, our next presentation this evening is a presentation entitled Wait Until 8th Campaign. So at this time, I'd invite Sarah Frey up to the podium to discuss the Wait Until 8th campaign.
It's my entourage.
Hi, guys.
Hi, I'm Sarah. This is Quinn, and we're here to talk about a Conshohocken digital wellness community. So I just wrote some things to stay on target today, but the goal here is to ask for support and partnership to launch a borough-wide digital wellness community. This initiative is going to empower families to make informed, balanced choices about screen use and to help our children thrive both online and off. Now, for some stats, in 2012, the average age for a child to get their first smartphone was age 12. Today, it's closer to age 9. Quinn here is age 9. According to a Common Sense Media study, 53% of children in the U.S. own a smartphone by age 11. 84% of teenagers say they're on their phones constantly or too much. We've also seen excessive screen time linked to increased anxiety and depression, lower academic achievement, disrupted sleep patterns, and a decline in face-to-face social interaction. Now, the Wait Until 8th campaign has showed that delayed smartphone usage can improve mental health, sleep, and school performance. So let me be clear, we're not trying to vilify technology. It's a powerful tool and it's essential to modern life. But just like teaching our kids how to read or ride a bike, we also need to teach them how to have a healthy relationship with screens. As for our vision, we're proposing a borough-supported, parent-led digital wellness community that will educate families on an age-appropriate technology use, support parents with workshops, resources, and online tools, and inspire kids with fun, screen-free activities and peer involvement. So why the borough and why now? Well, the borough has always stood for community, safety, and family values. This initiative, we believe, aligns perfectly with that mission. And what we start here can ripple far beyond our borough. As families move and students transition between schools, the healthy habits that we cultivate here will move into those neighboring communities. We have a chance to lead, to set an example not just for digital wellness, but for community-driven change. So in closing, this is not about limiting screens, it's about reclaiming childhood, building community, and restoring balance in a world that desperately needs it. What we start here together can grow far beyond our borders and change lives for the better. We hope that the borough will join us, not just with approval, but with partnership and pride to make a better community. Yeah. So that's our ask. Just for a little support.
So from an operational perspective, we have youth groups, youth campaigns, initiatives in the community that we already have in place. And so this would be, we'd be bringing this into our fold. And basically with other youth groups and other youth initiatives, we offer items such as, participation in our festivals and events at no cost. So if they need a tent or a table or they want to participate, so this whole digital awareness campaign would be, just part of what we do. And then if there was any youth programming at the community center through the recreation department that we can bring this campaign into it, we would, having the borough's support is what Sarah is asking for, just from an strictly operational perspective.
So Sarah, I'm sure you've been talking with neighbors and friends about this. Can you tell us a little bit about the energy that you're generating around it?
There's a lot of energy. So the Wait Until 8th campaign is a grassroots campaign. And we've been, many of the neighbors and I have been to the Wait Until 8th meetings. But we all sort of leave and we're like, what do we do next, right? So for us to organize within a community, we need somewhere to meet, right? We need the resources to come together and create these ideas, but also we need a way to get our voice out, right? So in talking to Steph and Ralph, the neighborhood fairs, any venue to disseminate information would be helpful. Because right now, Conshohocken has the worst pledge numbers of all of the schools. And it's because we haven't really talked about it. And as a community, we're not talking about it. But there is a lot of momentum. And I think just a space to bring together these families, whether it's at the events or whatnot, can really, catapult this to a different level. And then, for now, we're just trying to organize. But this could be so much more. Going to like a county level or whatnot. But I think that we can show, at the Conshohocken level that we can drive change. So.
Okay. Council, have any other questions?
Yeah, is there a teaching component to this?
Yeah, so part of the initiative is to educate parents, right? To create workshops, whether you're a parent who is already giving your child a smartphone, and to understand what steps it would take to sort of take that away or, learn to use it in a different manner, or for children to help them understand what safe smartphone use is. Those are things that we're talking to the school about, how to integrate that into the PTO. But there's, outside of Conshohocken Elementary, we still have, a ton of preschools here. And we can start at you have a kid, you can start talking about it, right? And that's how you drive that momentum. The goal is to make smartphones not cool, right? And the more people and the more parents who are willing to, hold back on giving their children phones, the better it is, right? She's going to want to go to school and she's going to want to have a phone because all of her friends have phones. But if nobody has phones, then who are you going to talk to? So, right?
Quinn, What do you think about this idea?
So they did learn a little in Conshohocken about screen time, right? And can you tell them, is screen time good? Excessive screen time, is it good for you?
No.
No. Does it make your brain rot?
Yes.
But not yours.
No, I mean, the goal here is really to get the word out about safe use, and we'd really just love the borough's support. So, I mean, I have like big ideas too for the future, like screen-free Saturdays and whatnot, and I think there's really great opportunity to get a lot of the local businesses involved too. So right now I just need to get, the moms, the dads together to organize, but we can make this something. We really can.
Awesome. So we're not looking for a vote this evening, but if anyone has any additional questions, I'm sure Sarah would be open to have those conversations with us as we move forward. And Steph, it sounds like you guys have started kind of talking and generating ideas
Yes.
on where we can incorporate.
Yes, so the only thing I would ask is that we do keep a kind of a list of youth groups and youth organizations and youth initiatives and community-wide initiatives. So as long as council's okay with it, we'll add this digital wellness community component to that list if there's no objection to that. And then we can kind of help facilitate logistics and operations on their behalf to include them in what the borough's already doing on behalf of the youth in our community.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Thanks. And thank you for spearheading. All right, I think that's the end of our presentations this evening, so we'll move into the land use matters, public hearings and ordinances. I think this evening we have no public hearings, but we do have a presentation on the preliminary and final minor subdivision and land development application for 140 East 6th Avenue, which is Ratoskey and Trainor.
Yep.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, hello.
Have a seat.
Thanks.
So do you want to do your presentation?
Yeah,
You
it's
got
all-
all your signs and your pictures and everything?
It's all me. Does a very good job here. So.
Sounds good.
This one's pretty straightforward. It's a 2-lot subdivision, single family. It's already been demolished. We got zoning approval for the lot width. So we're going to do two single family homes. They're going to be 20-foot wide. They do comply, everything complied for the zoning except for the lot width. Everything else complied. We did the seepage beds a couple weeks ago. We submitted everything back through with the engineers. We're just waiting for the reviews. Everything on there, there's a couple waivers, like all almost everyone. There's a couple, few small ones about grading within the property line. And then past that, as soon as we get approved, we'll submit for building plans. Some of the pictures, like we did just a rendering of one of a possible house that could go there, and also I added some pictures of like the houses on West 9th Avenue, which would look very similar. They're going to have a front porch, 20-foot wide, 45 to 50-foot long. They're going to have a one-car garage off the alley, parking off the alley. We decided to go with a one-car garage and then a one open parking space, just so you can access the backyard better. There's a pole you can see off the alley. We're already in communications with Pico to move the pole, so this way we have free and clear off the alley. So it'll be parking off the alley, 2 single-family homes across the street from the park, which I get calls pretty much weekly. You want to sell lots, but we're interested in go ahead and building them, and here we are.
Remind me, does the alley behind 6 go straight through, or
It
is that
does.
a dead end one?
It goes all the way through.
And no curb cuts
No.
in the front?
We're going to put all new curb and sidewalk in off the front. There is one existing street tree, so we're going to do just one street tree on the other side of the lot there. Pretty much, this is one of the easier ones of, that we've ever done, so yeah.
What's your time frame? Excuse me, so I guess we'd take a vote next meeting, correct?
Yeah.
If there's no
at,
vote this meeting?
No, it's on for discussion this evening, and the public has 2 weeks to make
Comment.
comment, and they'll be back on your agenda for consideration on September 17th.
Okay, so, right, given if that's the approval, what's your expected time frame to start building and then to finish?
We never actually contract with the architect for the final plans until we get the approvals, in case there's a curveball somewhere along the way. So, but I mean, this is pretty straightforward. So really, if there's no objections tonight, we're going to be calling the architect tomorrow and say, here, get started on the plans. And, you know, usually turnaround's about a month for that. So in 2 weeks, we get the approval. Hopefully within, you know, we have to satisfy the comments. Hopefully they'll be done in that same time frame. So I'm hoping between a month and a half, we should be able to be submitting for the permits. And then as soon as we get them, we're going to start.
Okay.
So you could break ground in the winter and work through the winter.
We'll break ground. If all goes right, we'll have as soon as you get the foundations in, everything else you could work all year long. And I'll tell you what, we've been having such mild winters anyway. Just as long as you could pour above 40 degrees.
Don't say that.
What's that? Yeah.
So when we get the 24-inch snowstorm.
Yeah, exactly. That's all right. I'll be helping you out if you, with the loaders and stuff, right? But, yeah, so if, you know, it really hasn't been a problem for building all throughout the winter, so, yeah, so.
Any other questions?
How are the neighbors there? Are they excited about the project or don't even care?
Well, they were very excited about getting rid of the old house, because the house was an eyesore and it was in bad shape. So that was okay. You know, at first it was like, you know, there was question about singles or twins, and, you know, the only reason we asked for the variance is so we could, you know, try to comply more with the comprehensive plan for singles. It was a by right for twins, but, you know, singles, you know, just like we did up on the, you know, on Howell. So we went in and asked for a variance, they gave it to us, so singles it is. So now, past that, you know, we had one little issue where we had just stone down for the sidewalk, and then, you know, it was a rainstorm and then it washed, so we had to clean that up, and then we just put blacktop in there temporarily until we can get started here. So, but now, I mean, everything will be brand new when we're done. So.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for presenting.
You got it. All right.
Exciting.
See you in 2 weeks.
More singles.
All right. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
What a great spot right in front of the park. All right, next item on our agenda will be under our council business section, and we're going to look at the 2026 Borough Marketing Phase 2 recommendation presentation by our Neff team. So if you guys would like to come up to the table and the podium for the presentation. Once you're done the presentation, we'll do a question and answer session. Yeah, you can't be shy. You're marketing. Come on.
Move chairs out to the table.
It's hard to believe we've almost finished out 1 year, huh?
You're right, and it's been, I guess, that long since I've been in the room with all of you. So the first thing I want to say, my name is David Neff, by the way, founder and president of Neff. I want to tell you how thankful we are and grateful for the opportunity that you gave us. My team and I, we have had, we love the borough, and each and every person who has worked on the account has really enjoyed it, and thank you all for allowing us to kind of do what we do. And I hope that you're all happy. We're very happy, and we take this account very, very seriously. It's not always about dollars and cents. This is an account that we really believe. We love all of our clients, of course, but this account has a little extra special meaning to all of us. So before I get started, I'll introduce my team. So Matt France is a creative manager, project manager at Neff. Matt has not worked on the Conshohocken account in the past. He's very much interested in doing that. He's chomping at the bit to work on the account. So with our plan, I'm hoping that most of you, if not all of you, have seen what we're going to review with you today. Elevating what we've done and taking it to the next level will require creative involvement as far as non-social media goes. And Matt is the guy that will kind of navigate through all of our creative initiatives and coordinate with the social team, as well as coordinate with the public relations team if we move forward as planned. Nick is a content manager. I think most of you know Nick. Nick Piper is a social media content creator and really loves working on the Conshohocken account.
He loves taking our pictures.
Yes, he does.
He just photographs so well, you know?
And hopefully you all love his work. Next up is Michael Gamari, a senior member of our public relations team. So Michael is also chomping at the bit, as well as Matt, to get involved in the Conshohocken account. And if we are fortunate enough to move forward, Mike would head up our PR initiatives. And last but not least, we have Curtis Albucher. Curtis is our social media content manager. He's also a two-time Emmy Award-winning videographer. And I think you've seen Curtis at many events as well. And I couldn't have asked for a better introduction, an unplanned introduction. With Pepperoncini being recognized and learning here that a lot of that came about because of the Philadelphia Inquirer. Okay, that is the power of publicity. And if we move forward with a more integrated plan next year, beyond social media, but also publicity and public relations outreach, that's a perfect example of deal flow. More deals, more interest, more businesses, more restaurants, bars, retailers, and other businesses will be knocking down your door to inquire about either adding a business to Conshohocken or starting a business in Conshohocken. Then the last initiative about screen time. If the borough moves forward with giving that a green light, I kind of think we might be able to generate a lot of very positive publicity about that initiative. It sounds very unique to me, very distinctive, and the kind of content that people in the media will be very, very interested in. At this point, I am going to turn it over to my colleague, Matt France. Thanks, Matt.
All right, as of right now, we handle just social media here. For the 2026 Phase 2, we're going to build on to the momentum that we've created with the social media thus far, and with the introduction of public relations, which works hand in hand with social media. Any publicity that we do, we can then post on social media, so it's a double hammer there. Additionally, we want to introduce the monthly electronic newsletter, just kind of what's going on in the borough, and we will go into each one of these a little bit more specific, so this is just a brief overview for now. And then we also want to introduce bi-weekly event e-blasts. That's just a quick look via email. People know what's going on that week. That way they're stay informed, things along those lines. Any questions thus far? I know, like I said, we're going to get into each one of these more in particular. That was just a quick overview. And I will pass it back to David.
And what Matt just overviewed, thank you, Matt. What Matt just overviewed is basically an integrated marketing plan and strategy. So in the last year, we have you have moved forward with the social media initiative. So if things go to plan, next year it would be an integrated marketing plan and strategy to build the borough.
Can I ask a quick question?
Of course.
The monthly electronic newsletter, is that an idea that would supplant the existing newsletter or be an add-on to it that we do through every quarter? Is that I'm just trying to understand the concept with it.
We've discussed that as a group and a team, and I think the intent here is to continue to be able to reach as many different demographic groups in the borough as possible.
Okay.
So while we would be incorporating this new e-newsletter concept, we would maintain some form of paper newsletter to get out to the residents.
Would the electronic, and just getting an idea here, would the electronic look the same as the physical? Would the design be both, or they would be separate?
They would be separate.
Okay.
Because they'd also be generated by two separate entities as well. But that's, again, a concept that we would be working through to determine what works best with this integrated marketing approach.
Really great question. And in an ideal world, there should be maybe some continuity. So, but that's to be determined. So I think all of you are the last people that I have to convince about what a great place Conshohocken is to live, work, and play. But I'm going to go into a little more detail because I don't want to make assumptions. The Borough of Conshohocken is a vibrant, close-knit community, as witnessed firsthand here, along the Schuylkill River in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Known for its small-town charm paired with big city access, Conshohocken blends historic roots with a thriving modern culture. The borough offers an active lifestyle with parks, trails, and year-round community events complemented by a growing dining, retail, and business scene. Residents take pride in the borough's walkability, strong civic engagement, and welcoming atmosphere. Visitors are drawn to its scenic riverfront, seasonal festivals, and community-driven programs. The borough is positioned as both a hometown for families and a destination for day trippers, thanks to its accessibility and robust event calendar. So you all should be very proud of what you've built to date, because it gives marketers like us all the ammunition that we look for in leveraging that great energy. The brand personality for Conshohocken is friendly and welcoming, approachable, community-first voice, active and engaged, celebrates events, outdoor spaces, and public participation, proud and authentic, highlighting local history, unique character, and resident pride. And lastly, the brand personality is vibrant and energetic, showcasing growth, new opportunities, and cultural activities. And based on what I just heard about that new potential initiative, also innovative. A borough that is innovative, that encourages and embraces innovation. Core strengths: strong calendar of annual events, active resident base eager to engage and share, central location with easy access to Philadelphia, the Main Line, and other surrounding suburbs. And lastly, a blend of historic identity and modern development. And at this point, I will turn it over to Michael Gamari to go over the PR.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. So we had a really good time putting this together. Our office is a pretty collaborative environment, so we've heard a lot about Conshohocken. I've even learned how to spell it without looking at it in this proposal. So the PR strategy here, our goal is to position Conshohocken as a premier regional destination to live, work, and play. We'll achieve this goal through proactive media outreach by securing coverage in local, regional, and lifestyle outlets for borough events, initiatives, and milestones. We will promote events, distribute press releases, media advisories, ahead of key events to drive attendance. Post-event will follow up with, when appropriate, create and distribute post-event recaps, including monies raised, attendance, etc. We will do this through positive storytelling, sharing human interest stories about residents, businesses, and volunteers that contribute to the borough's appeal. We will humanize the stakeholders, collaborate with local restaurants, bars, and retailers to extend reach and create joint PR opportunities. And last, we will do it through thought leadership, highlighting the borough's leadership in community engagement, sustainability, and local development when and where appropriate. And Curtis.
How's it going, everybody? So when we took on this account, it was really a goal of ours to humanize the borough in general, humanize the council. And moving into phase 2, what we really want to do is increase engagement through our social media, build community pride, and also drive event attendance through consistent, creative, and shareable content. Starting off, what we want to do is look at what we did previously, do an audit of that, and see what worked and what didn't, and how we can prioritize the better content for our community. With that, we have content pillars that we want to hit. Event promotion is extremely important and got a lot of engagement from you guys. Community spotlight, so residents, businesses, and any volunteers that are doing anything is extremely important. Borough services and updates, so meeting announcements, any educational and helpful content. Historical and scenic Conshohocken. Everybody wants to see how it's changed over the years, and I think that that's a really important thing for social media, to share that, to share where it's been and where it is today. Interactive engagement is also huge, so polls and quizzes and challenges. This is also an increased UGC, so user-generated content, which is something that we think can actually build on. We've already started something called Conchi Life, and we'd like to build on it a little bit more with daily Conchi, Sunday stroll, Conchi style. Again, highlighting businesses and restaurants in this area to show that this is the premier destination for Philadelphia, and everybody wants to be here. And that's how we can do that through social media. A lot of our engagement came through stories and reels, which is extremely important. I think that we saw a lot of that through our 175th anniversary event, our bike race event. We did a lot of live streaming through that, and we saw a lot of engagement and a lot of user-generated engagement also, which we thought did very, very well. And then also we want to consistently post. That's something that people will always want to see, is that it's consistently done and that we can actually kind of wait for the next update. And I think that that's something very important moving forward for our social media campaign.
One thing that's worth noting and adding to what Curtis just said was, again, moving forward, if we are fortunate enough to continue our relationship, we now have content, beautiful content, photographic content, video content, of most, if not all, of your events that we can then use and leverage to promote that same event this coming year. And that's something that we didn't have the luxury of this past year.
We started a library of content for you guys, starting because we didn't have very much to work with, so a lot of these events was like the first time that you guys had an opportunity to share how vibrant this community was. So now we have the point where we have a library of content that we can actually leverage even more to show, again, that this is the premier spot.
And that would also help, by the way, like with the Flyers event that was here, you can use that to market to a group like that and say, hey, in 2025, we can promote your event too. We captured videography and or photography from the event, so you can use some of our content, but we can also help promote your event. It adds value to the borough.
Do you want us to wait for questions until after your full presentation, or do you want interruption in between?
Whatever
social, then yes.
Whatever you wanted, whatever makes you comfortable. We're fine either way.
I guess for me, so we did social media strategy year one. how successful were we with social media strategy in the current state to be able to then make a determination of kind of taking it to phase 2?
So that's actually coming up in a slide
beautiful.
coming up. So
It's
once
an
we go
amazing
through-
question.
Yes, and it's
One that we're very well prepared to review with you.
Yes.
To give you a hint, very, very, very well.
Yes, the numbers are very good, and we're going to share the numbers with you.
All right.
I want to get to the meat. I love the fluff, but I want to get to the meat.
We can cut right to that slide.
Yeah. So as far as the email marketing, that's the monthly e-newsletter as well as the e-blast. The goal of those is to keep the residents and stakeholders informed while encouraging participation in all the different events and programs that you guys have going on. As far as the monthly newsletter, that would cover broad community updates, borough initiatives, and key announcements, highlights from recent events, and features on upcoming major happenings. And a lot of the stuff, the content that will be in this is stuff that our social team captures. So that will be very up to date. The resident resource section for municipal services, deadlines, and seasonal tips, and also humanize stakeholders by highlighting restaurant, bar, and retail owners. The bi-weekly e-blast, this is dedicated to what's going on that week, just upcoming events, if there's concerts, different activities, and it's going to be in a quick read format, so there's no extra fluff, it's just what's going on, you see it really quick, you're informed. The segmentation optimization for this is that we'll tailor the messaging different per group depending on the different audience segments when it's relevant. If it's a resident-focused e-newsletter, it's going to be speaking more to the residents, businesses, and visitors alike. As far as the brand voice and design, we want to maintain that friendly, upbeat tone, and we want to make sure that it's a clean, mobile-optimized layout. And as far as performance tracking, depending on which platform we decide to go with, there's the MailChimps, there's
Constant Contact.
Constant Contact. There's a few out there. But through that, we can review the open rates, click-through rates, as well as different engagement. And then we can basically take all that data and information and refine it and improve the e-newsletter and e-blast so that it just keeps getting better and better.
I summarized these so I don't have to read word for word.
Thank you.
Through our PR objectives, we kind of took what is already done with social and kind of how we would implement public relations. Position Conshohocken as a modern small town with historic roots with a fresh mix of dining, businesses, and culture. We will showcase Conchi's dining, nightlife, and retail as a true destination for Greater Philadelphia, the Main Line, and beyond. Highlight what makes Conshohocken unique. Its walkable downtown, independent shops, dog-friendly vibe, and traditions. We will tell the story of Conchi's transformation, revitalized factories, new housing, growth, and authenticity. We will elevate events and festivals with media coverage that drives attendance and reinforces Conchi as the place to be. We will spotlight the business community from longstanding shops and innovative startups as part of the borough's rise. We will position you guys as champions of mindful growth, keeping Conchi's cool factor while planning for the future. We will build consistent media visibility that celebrates Conchi's people and lifestyle, keeping it top of mind year-round.
Good to see all you guys again. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. So to reiterate our objectives for social media, Curtis kind of already started, but we wouldn't really be a good media partner or social media partner if we didn't already try to test some of these theories. So to answer your question, the numbers are really, really great, right? So I ran the analytics, they're really good. But we've tested some of our new strategies with Conchi Life, Sunday Stroll, featuring local businesses, trying to get more of the community involved, right? We want to humanize you guys, but we also want to give the people what they want. What the people really like is carousel posts, different types of businesses being shown. So how did we already start this? We started it with doing an Eagles post that is already, it's been posted not even a week. It has over 22,000 views on it already, featuring your small businesses here like Sanctuary Blue, Facos, I believe it's pronounced, and The Collective. I know there's a bunch of other businesses as well. When we came out here, those were just 3 that I noticed sold Eagles merch, so we wanted to push that out. Another video, or another idea that we already started as well is the Sunday Stroll. So Sunday Stroll is basically exactly what it sounds like, a Sunday evening or a Sunday day spent in the borough. So we have these things called Ray-Ban meta glasses. We use them. We went into the Extra Boutique right up the road from here. We pretended to shop. Doing that, we actually got other businesses to DM you guys on the Borough Instagram, reaching out saying, hey, can you come feature our business now? We would love to be a part of this. We want to get our voice out there. So that's amazing because now we're starting to build that community that we really wanted. So all those things are really great, and we want to keep doing it going forward. When we post pictures of Conshohocken, people tell us how much they love Conshohocken. We've done the research. We know we can deliver and give you guys these great social media objectives that are up here. But going forward, I think as long as we keep doing that and keep giving the people what they want, everything here is going to be successful.
You want to show those meta glasses to everyone? So
they're in the car, but
I said to everyone, I'm like, guys, here's what time we're leaving. And Nick said, oh no, I want to be there about an hour and a half ahead of time because I want to use the meta glasses and I want to shoot some new content. So just...
I'm very proud of the account. The numbers look
passion
really
is
good.
real.
And honestly, if I have a second to share a quick story, I was in Collingswood the other day. I was at a farmer's market, and I met this vendor. We started talking. I was like, oh, your stuff's really cool. And he's like, if you want to buy it, I'll be at FunFest. So, of course, now I know what FunFest is. He gets to talk to him. He lives in Conshohocken. He sells these Ridge wallets, but they're custom made. He actually made one for Paul. He gave me his whole story and everything. So, of course, I have to ask him, like, hey, like, how do you like the social media? Never once told him that I was part of the team, anything, just wanted to get the feedback. And he told me, he's like, I love the new initiative of bringing the community aspect to it. Please keep doing it. Please start showing the community and showing us more of what we love about Conshohocken. So the growth is real. People really do talk about you guys, and it's really awesome to be a part of it.
Thank you.
All right. So now that we went through the email marketing, the public relations, and social media, I'm going to try to pull it all together, give you guys a better idea of how they interact and it will work here. So as far as the core approach for our integrated marketing framework, we're going to align public relations, social media, and the email marketing efforts around seasonal themes, borough events, and community priorities. We're going to follow a 70-20-10 model. So 70% will be community-focused storytelling and engagement, 20% will be event promotion and coverage, and 10% will be borough service updates and announcements. On these next couple slides, these are just samples, examples, they're theoretical, but this gives you an idea of how the PR, the social and email could work month by month. I'll only do this slide. There is a full year in here. You can look at it on your own time. I don't want to waste too much time. So for January, the entire sort of concept of it would be the fresh start in winter life or winter community life. So for PR, you can do the year ahead. That's a press release highlighting major 2026 borough initiatives and events, as well as local news feature on winter programs and community safety initiatives. For social, you could do a photo and video series, Winter in Conchi, with scenic shots around the borough. You can feature resident volunteer spotlights, as well as interactive polls, like Curtis was mentioning. We want to start doing more of those. Which winter activity do you want to see this year? For the email, the monthly newsletter would cover just borough updates, key winter reminders, snow removal, parking, anything that any resident or business needs to know. And then a bi-weekly event newsletter example would be the winter rec programs, different indoor events, as well as restaurant specials. February, love where you live, kind of leading into, Valentine's Day. A human interest piece on a couple, family, or longtime resident tied to Valentine's theme for the PR angle. For social, use the hashtag #LoveConchi with a photo challenge using the user-generated content. So having people submit their own photos, and you would repost it on there. Throwback Thursdays with historic old Conchi romantic spots. And as far as the email, the monthly newsletter would have a feature on the borough volunteer opportunities, and the bi-weekly event newsletter would cover Valentine's Day events, winter markets, and business promos. Like I said, we did do a full year, but I will not bore you too much right now.
But just bottom line is that in this plan, every month has a theme, correct?
Yep.
And then each of the different integrating marketing strategy approaches that are now in this new package have their own set of initiatives to match that theme.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what we would do is we would, in collaboration with the borough, for example, in preparation for February and Valentine's Day, we could reach out to every merchant and restaurant and bar that has anything Valentine Day themed, package that up into a pitch to all of the local TV stations, radio stations, online newspapers, magazines, etc. So there's long lead media like magazines. So February editorial, they might plan that in November. So we might have to reach out really early, at least for the magazines only. But that when we do that roundup, that could also inspire offers or packages that we would put in the e-blast.
And that's all part of this new PR initiative.
That's correct. So basically, the PR initiative outlines everything we've already discussed, but it's also anything and everything else that the borough has going that's maybe new. We're not going to say, oh, that's out of scope, so we're going to have to charge you extra. That won't be happening. If, God forbid, there's crisis management issues, something bad happens, we're also there. We have your back. We can help you with messaging. We can help you figure out how to navigate through when and if, hopefully it never happens, negative things happen. So all that crisis management council is also included.
So I think this is a good place. I want to jump in and ask a question or
Sure.
comment here. So reading through this, right, a lot of this is focused on social media, but we do have a portion of our community that isn't on social media, that doesn't communicate that way, doesn't receive information that way. So you're starting to touch on it, Dave, but I'd like to hear a little bit more, not just talking about Valentine's Day, but talk more about how we're going to disseminate, obviously it's not video, right? We do video through social media, but how we're going to disseminate information to the portion of our community that doesn't receive information that way.
Well, we would plan to collaborate with the borough's staff in how to best leverage the other communications like the cable access network that you have. We can work with your in-house team to reformat content so it can be best seen there, but also for some of those more traditional, more conservative folks, our PR campaign is going to be very impactful. Our PR campaign will be reaching TV stations, radio stations, newspapers, online outlets. So you're really going to have to be under a rock in order to not be exposed to the PR that will be generated on Conshohocken once we're up and running. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
So Dave, once you kind of start that, and I think I've seen it a little bit with what we're seeing, so you generate something, and then does another outlet sometimes grab your stuff and then get it out there and blast it bigger? Is that what I'm seeing happening with what?
That does happen. So all of the PR content that our PR department creates, that is served up to the media, and it has one of two functions. For the smaller outlets that don't have a deep staff of reporters or editorial staffs, they can run the story turnkey with artwork, which we would also send to them as is. And it doesn't have to, it won't mention Neff, it won't mention anything. It's like as if they had their people reporting on it. With the larger media outlets that have a high level of editorial integrity, like the Inquirer, the business journals, the TV stations, the Philly mags of the world, that content is used to create and generate interest. So then a writer, reporter, editor says, hey, let's cover this. Let's do something on this. And then their people generate the whole story and the content themselves.
And I think that's where we can kind of connect that to our strategic plan, right? So we want to continue to draw in Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies and have small business, have folks outside of just our 1 square mile borough come into those places. So I think I see some of that happening now in current state. So I can only imagine if we kind of expand on that.
That's a big time business story. And that is a very exciting initiative. And you have the businesses here, the highly credible, national, internationally known businesses that have made Conshohocken their home, that we could use as the poster boy, if you will, of why larger businesses should consider Conshohocken to be their home. And with outlets like the Philadelphia Business Journal, if we get the right story placed there, there is a chance that the Business Journal network would pick that up and run it nationally, but we also could cherry pick other well-regarded, highly credible national business magazines, like the Fast Companies of the world, or Forbes. Like, we can scour their editorial calendars, and when we see an appropriate opportunity, we can call in representing the Conshohocken and saying, hey, do you know about us? We need to be on your radar. You know, Morgan Properties is here and kicking you know what and taking numbers and further expanding. The Fanatics, they're here. They're growing.
Well, that's everything, right? This discussion is great. I also like the idea of showing the next local small business that's looking for an opportunity or looking for a place to start, that we're supportive, because we know our constituents and our community supports our local businesses, but we want to show opportunities to Pepperoncini, right? How did Pepperoncini come here, right? He's a great example. But we have a lot of that, and there's always the next one, the next local small business. So,
no doubt. You know, we represent Dooney's Pub. They're in Delran, New Jersey. They're in Voorhees, New Jersey. They're opening up a third location on Tilton Road in Northfield, close to the shore. This is the perfect place for them to have a beachhead, to open up another Dooney's Pub here. This is like right in line, and I am more than delighted to make the introduction when given the green light to do so.
Alan, on social media as well, like, we are excited because we've already been to the Great American Pub, we went to Blackfish, and we've been to Southern Cross. All three of those businesses were very happy that we came in. I know they've been here for many, many years. We're still trying to crack Boathouse, so hopefully Boathouse comes in too.
To go to the rabbit hole.
Getting a text right now.
We also did Tough Nickel Barbershop.
That's right,
There. That's been a community hotspot for a very long time. And she was incredibly inviting, and we took some really good photos of her. And again, this is just an initiative for our social media to start highlighting businesses. That's the biggest part, small businesses specifically.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to kind of drive at. The small businesses, and particularly the ones that exist here today, that is something that actually can show a return relative to a spend, because you're increasing foot traffic, you're increasing things of that nature. And hand up, I was the biggest critic of this whole thing. You may know that already. That's fine. I'll be honest. So I really wanted to dig into that aspect, because when you're talking about a large outlay of money, really understanding how that's impacting the businesses, which then bring in revenue, which supports growth, which supports the revenue that the borough actually has. That is where my mind goes when you're talking about this. The stuff with getting people to know stuff, I actually think we do, again, we argued this back and forth ad nauseum, but I think we do a pretty good job of that, and you can obviously improve upon it. But really, what I really wanted to hear about is more that line.
You're going to see it. Okay, that's right in line with in the deck, the screenshots of social media, what we've done so far, and showing you your return on your investment. And also, we have an illustration on the power of publicity and how that can impact your return on investment as well. And okay. Can I just say one more thing? Okay, thank you. I just want to share with you that Curtis and I have both attended several meetings with your restaurant, bar, and retail owners, and we are really starting to see a lot of positive energy in the room. They're like embracing what we're doing, and now more than ever, there are a lot of hands going up as far as, hey, can you feature us? What about us? We want to be involved. So it's starting to snowball in a very positive direction.
Data.
All right, the numbers, team.
There you go.
So you're going to see a bunch of different numbers up here, and I think for social media, there's two metrics that we use to kind of see exactly how well we're doing. Impressions is one, engagements is the other. Impressions show you exactly how many times your content is displayed on somebody's screen. So basically what that means is impressions equal total views. They show you potential reach and visibility. Engagements are incredibly important because they measure how people interact with your content. Likes, reactions, favorites, comments, replies, shares, retweets. Engagements equal total interactions. They show you how active people are and how they are connecting with your content. So as you can see here, we have on the top line up there, we have the fiscal year of 2024. You're right at 1.4 million total impressions. Within our 6 months, from March to August, we reached 1.2. So that's a huge, huge improvement.
Just to clarify, that does not include the past 2 weeks of the 22,000 posts we did, plus the Sunday stroll, all the new initiatives. These are numbers before that.
Can I ask a quick question? What platforms is this encompassing?
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn.
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn, yes.
Okay. Are those the three that you would
Those are the three that we...
pursue further, or is there, that's, okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
I mean, I guess we could consider adding TikTok.
We could.
TikTok is
Absolutely.
a very interesting platform. It goes toward a younger demographic. Also, YouTube is another one that you guys already have an account with that, and that could be some more long-form content. That could be a great place to also create some more engagement. I think also a really important number that you see here is the post-link clicks. What's really important about that is that means that people are engaging with the content, looking at the content, and using that link to therefore go to your website.
So 3,907 clicks in 6 months compared to last year, 1,828 clicks in an entire year.
So it's
Just to
almost
put it in
triple.
context.
And again, I think that for you guys, that's very important because that means that people are going through, seeing the social media, and moving through to find out more information about the borough, which is, I think, extremely important for you guys. Engagement rate is a national average, you can say, is around 3%, and we're up in the 6% range. So this is an initiative that you guys voted on, and you can actually see the numbers now that it's actually working, and we're excited to go for phase 2, which
Do you have any numbers on follower counts?
Follower counts, not in this. Really how we use metrics for social media is impressions and engagements. Those are the two that are like really, really big for us. Do you remember off the top of your head though? I mean, followership gain is not as big as impressions and engagements. That's the people that are interacting.
Instagram, I can give you Instagram real quick because I am logged into it. I believe it was definitely over 3,000 something. Of course, it's not going to load in here, but it's definitely, I'd like to say it was like 3,900. It's between 35 and 3,900 if my memory serves me correctly.
Do you have an idea of what it was when you started versus what we're at now?
So that is the fiscal year, so 2024, that was our canvas. We did 2024, and then just that little block of time before we started in 2025, so January to February.
So the follower rate, though, not at the top of my head, that would be on.
We can follow up if that's something.
Yeah, if that's something we can get it for you.
Yeah.
Yes, because we do have, we have tons of apartments and a big transient community in which like new people cycle in all the time.
Sure.
So it also is another thing that translates to getting the message out, which is like how many people are now following us and able to repost things that we're posting.
We can definitely follow up with those numbers too.
The only thing I can give you right now, to be honest with you, is in the past 2 weeks, you guys gained 30, 40 followers. So that's pretty good because it's only a couple posts. But yeah, that's what I have at the top of my head.
Thank you.
We'll follow up with you on that.
Any other questions in terms of social media analytics?
No, but just to point out, so just for the impressions alone, for the 6 months over the course of this year, we're roughly already about 10%. You're seeing a 10% increase just from 1 year, and you still have
Correct.
2 years to go.
Exactly.
Correct.
6 more months to go. So we're very proud of it.
Okay. So what we did here to show you the power of publicity, all of these, since we began managing Conshohocken social media in March of 2025, the borough has seen a noticeable increase in positive media coverage. Our PR analysis of 6 recent articles demonstrate the measurable value in both audience reach, unique UVMs, and PR value. This momentum shows that when paired with a proactive PR strategy, Conshohocken has a significant opportunity to amplify its visibility, attract more visitors, and support local businesses. So with those 6 stories alone, 6 stories, the value, the public relations value of those 6 stories was $538,821. And I'm going to explain to you how we got the PR value. And those 6 stories alone generated $19,417,150 total unique monthly visitors. So that was generated through these 6 stories. So you can see the public relations value on the right. The far right is the total unique monthly visitors. So the way PR value is calculated is as follows. Let's assume that there is a half a page article, let's say that appears in the Philadelphia Inquirer. If that was advertising, that would be valued, guesstimated value of about $10,000. The way you calculate half page, let's say it was a story on Conshohocken, half page in the Philadelphia Inquirer would be, if it was an ad, about $10,000. I think we all would agree that if it's a story about Conshohocken and not an ad, it has a significantly higher value. So the accepted public relations principles are calculated by taking the ad value, so that theoretical example that I gave everyone of $10,000, that story alone in the Inquirer would have a PR value of $30,000. So that's how these numbers were calculated. Any questions?
So I have a question.
Sure.
These 6 stories that appeared in various media.
Yeah.
They were not generated by you, they were generated by these particular.
They were not.
And then you guys picked them up and.
They were on they all ran on our collective on our social media watch. While we were doing social media, these stories appear. Well, we can't take credit for generating them. We
Right.
did not have our PR department reach out to any of these media. We just wanted to give you this as an example to illustrate the power of public relations and
Gotcha.
and how this can relate to an unbelievably great return on investment for the borough by pairing PR with social media in the upcoming year.
And in these examples, we tried to give you like a different scope for like different outlets and talking about different things. Do you think you could replicate that?
Yeah.
I think we can. Yeah, we like this was only through 6
You're
stores.
gonna say, yeah. My
No.
question is that,
We've been in business 38 years.
Yeah.
We have relationships with all of the TV stations, all of the radio stations, all of the newspapers, all of the online outlets. We will hold our heads up high and proud to be here from my mouth to God's ears a year from now and show you how we've shattered these numbers.
So on an ROI perspective, what do you think it would be? Like if you versus investment versus return? What multiple?
I would be disappointed if we couldn't return 5 to 10% or more. I'm being very conservative here because PR is not certain. It's not advertising. Advertising is controlled.
Yeah.
You approve the ad, it runs the next day. Editorial, which is what we're talking about, earned media. We refer to all publicity as earned media. When these stories that we generate run, the borough will not receive invoices from any of these media outlets. This is not advertorial. This is not sponsored content. This will all be pure earned media, publicity generated by the Neff PR team. So
When you say 5 to 10%, just because I'm curious, because if you're calculating the PR value relative to the investment, if our investment's $10,000, 5x, 5 to 10x. I thought you said 5 to 10%. That's why I was, yeah. Okay. And another thing to point out, this is online only, so there are like print and all of those, like the values change.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
So this is online only. So this value that's attached to 6ABC, that is for running on their website only.
Right.
That does not include that, we'll say, 20-second, 30-second story that actually ran on Action News and probably also ran on PHL 17 and may have run the following early morning. You know, we frequently get TV placements for our clients with any of the network affiliates, and we see that it ran more than one time. So, you know, I'd rather be lucky than good. We can't take credit for that. If it's a slow news day, they're going to rerun our client stories maybe the following day, maybe in the next newscast. So
through our PR work, our monthly idea of the month, our objective is to generate interest for someone else to pick it up and run with it for additional depth and breadth of information out to public, and then that would be what you would call the earned.
we will be constantly pitching new, fresh content about everything that's going on here 12 months out of the year. In an ideal world, a lot of the media outlets, after 3 or 4 months of getting content from us, they're going to say, Neff, what's going on with Conshohocken next month? I'm doing a story. That's how it works. Any other questions? These are all great questions.
Anyone else?
Okay. That's the last slide. Actually, that's not the last slide. This is the last slide. Okay. So for our public relations and social media services, on a monthly basis, it's $11,500. And I think currently you're paying about you're paying $62.50 for just social. Just to put it into perspective. So this is, that 11.5 is for social as well as PR and public relations for any and all initiatives that the borough is working on. And then we have the initial e-newsletter design is $3,500, and then the email creative and distribution is $2,500 per month.
So that total comes out to roughly $171,500. And that's what will be in front of council for consideration when we move into the budget cycle, which will be at the end of September, which is why we had you here today. Not only to illustrate the success of basically 6 months of campaign brought into the borough operation, but recommendations for moving that relationship forward and the opportunities that exist for the borough and the costs that are associated with that. And then we'll take those costs and we'll evaluate it in our general fund operating fund and budget for 2026. And council will make a decision in terms of what direction they want to move in.
Sounds great.
Can I just take a step back?
Yeah.
So I'm glad we covered our bases with return on investment. That's great. I know we had some questions there. I think in the world of 2025, disseminating information in a way that's digestible to residents becomes one of our services as government. That's just where we are. And the fact that it's not a chore for me to share our content. It's not government speak anymore, right? It's fun, it's engaging. I see when I share content that, I mean, am I wrong? Is it night and day the last couple of months of our social media? I see the engagement on my end with residents liking it, commenting, resharing it, whatever. That's not something that would have happened necessarily 6 months ago. It wasn't being disseminated in a way. That's how we got to this conversation. It wasn't disseminated in a way that was digestible. So I also want us to think about not just return on investment, but this is a service we provide, just like trash pickup, just like police, to our residents. And I will tell you, being out there all the time now, it's been effective. And I hear much less of, I don't know what's going on. I hear more of, the things that are happening here are really cool. Keep it up. So I just want us to take that perspective too as we head into budget season.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for,
It's our pleasure.
a lot of fun to engage with what's been happening the last 6 months.
I think a year ago, you all had very justified issues with, those people that have way too much free time, the people that tend to be negative in their perspective. So the fact that you're hearing a lot less of it tells me we've come a long way in a relatively short window of time. So I want to thank you all very, very much for all your time today. Thank you for the opportunity that you've given us and for your time. And I hope you all have a great evening. We're going to go pardon me?
I know you're trying to close
sorry.
up.
Oh, no.
I guess one question that I do have.
I'll stay here all
is-
night. We'll stay here all night if we need to.
We're doing a lot of what we all think is effective for the community. At what point do you go out and measure that the community is seeing what they want to see? And I come at this from the perspective of naysayers about who are your elected officials. And there was a lot of commenting on, well, that was silly. Why did we need to see that? So when are you measuring what it is that the community wants to see on our social?
So it helps to know like the analytics and the whole report. If Stephanie allows it, I will gladly share the whole report with you guys. You guys could read the whole report. Well, I don't know. Hey, you're in charge of me. So, no. So it really helps to know. So yes, we all saw what happened. We know what happened. That's kind of why we moved away from it. And we started realizing what
And I'm not saying it was the wrong thing, because
No.
it could be in a handful of people.
Yeah.
And it could have been generated because someone was
Yeah.
getting too much attention, right? But I guess the question is, how do you measure what it is that
based
they
on
want
the
to
engagement and the comments and like the responses that we are getting. When we do post photos of like the events, a lot of people repost it to their story, especially if they're in it. If I'm photographing these events, all I have to say, like, even with the cameras, but oh, you want a chance to be featured on the borough's Instagram? People go nuts for it. Of course, they want to see themselves. So it's feedback like that. It's feedbacks on the comments. It's feedbacks. I hate to be this person, but it's also feedbacks on the likes. Seeing those engagements on the post when I post different photos of Conshohocken, or we're posting Sunday strolls, or we're posting the businesses and people shout out, oh, this is my favorite restaurant, or we do a graphic like, hey, what's my favorite restaurant in the borough is, and people are commenting on it and giving us all these different restaurants that like I never even heard of because I didn't venture out there, or even getting reached out to like from different businesses saying, I've seen what you're doing, we'd love to be a part of it now. One of the places that reached out was the gym that I know you went to on Monday with the Labor Day. They were really excited about it. They're on our list now. We want to feature them. I'm starting to give them more like of a post on like reposting on stories. Things like that is what's helping us now.
You're
Yes.
evaluating on.
Always.
You're not saying, okay,
Nope.
let's stop, let's figure out what works and then change our direction.
Nope.
It's a constant evaluation.
Everything's a test.
And that's a great answer, and I actually was going to give a different answer. My answer would have cost a lot more money. This answer, this is a better answer, because this is utilizing the tools that we already have at our disposal and that you're paying us for to monitor everything as well as manage everything. So when and if the time comes where you want to get into the weeds on that, you can do telephone intercept surveys, you can do focus group surveys, in a room, and get people's opinions. That's qualitative. There's qualitative as well as quantitative research. So depending upon your appetite for budget and how deep you want to get.
I like this answer.
Yeah, no, this is this is a much better answer.
Well, is it safe to say that you and your team have the experience to, after you generate content, to see it's not hitting expectations, right?
Yes.
So, okay, this type of video content doesn't work, but wow, still photography gets a lot, right? So you would change your focus.
We do an internal meeting at least once a week with everybody in the social media department. We go over every account and we all discuss like what we can do better and how we can improve and what's not working. So it's not just my eyes or Curtis's eyes on it. There's multiple other members of the social media department that you guys might never meet that are also getting eyes on your content and giving us feedback to make sure that we're producing the best content for you guys.
And other departments.
And the Neff team meets with our team once a month, so they're constantly in communication. I mean, they're formally meeting once a month, but they're constantly in communication with Shauna and with Paul.
I got them on speed dial.
Yeah, I do believe that you literally have them on speed dial, who have done a wonderful job of capturing and packaging the information to get it to the Neff team to be able to turn it into what the mayor was talking about. So they're the kind of the individuals that are behind the scenes that are making this all happen from our side, so that they have the tools to do what they need to do.
Sean and Paul have been great to collaborate with, and when there are other things that kind of we're thinking about, we also are not shy about reaching out to Ray and Steph, and they have been nothing but fully supportive on, here's an honest conversation, here's kind of what we think we should do, and they've been very supportive to the Neff team. So we don't just sit back and do everything that we think you want us to do. We're always looking at our own work and evaluating it and seeing how we can do better.
Thanks. Anyone else? No? All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you again.
Thanks for your
Have a
time,
great
guys.
night. And we're not taking our dining and drinking dollars into the city. We're staying in Conshohocken.
Excellent.
And having a cocktail and dinner here.
Have one for us.
Try the rabbit hole.
What's that?
That's the new one.
Yes. Oh. Might have to change.
Tapas.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
great night.
Small plate. All right, moving right along. Next presentation is the final design presentation for the Veterans Memorial Plaza on West 2nd Avenue. So I'll invite Karen MacNair, the Borough Engineer, and Chris Green from Gilmore up to the podium. And I think you guys are going to present the final design and budget and the schedule for this project? Yes. Great, thanks.
So I'm Chris Green, landscape architect with Gilmore and Associates. Been involved with the design of the project. I'm happy to share some images here of the final design for Veterans Memorial Plaza. This is the first image here is a bird's eye view, basically over Fayette Street, looking up towards Forest Street. What we're doing down at the street level of Fayette is essentially connecting the curb line that's there currently, where the street goes through. We're just, continuing the curb line down along Fayette to connect the 2 points, and providing some accessible ADA ramp improvements across Fayette Street down there. Moving further into the site, kind of at the building line, is where the performance stage is going to be located. It's a round performance area. It's about 20 feet in diameter, which is going to be covered with a shade structure. That's basically the lowest point in that site for greatest visibility up on the hill as well as from the street side. So as we move further into the hillside, basically everyone's familiar with the grade of that street, correct? It's about a 12% slope that goes straight up the hill. So essentially what we're doing is carving in seating, amphitheater style seating in that hillside. So there'll be 6 rows of 18-inch high seat walls that kind of stagger their way up that slope and transition up that slope. In between the seat walls is going to be lawn for a green visible from Fayette Street. You'll be seeing more of a green space rather than the roadway that was previously there. Moving further up into the site is going to be a viewing plaza. So again, we're creating a lot of grade change there. We're going to need to have about a 6-foot high wall up above that green space where the amphitheater seating is, which will create a viewing plaza approximately 16 feet higher than the elevation of Fayette Street. So we'll get a good visible opportunity from that location. And that's also where the family monument is going to be relocated to within that viewing plaza. And then this continues up to towards Forest Street, where there's going to be a flagpole and a small green space created in the middle of the roadway up there, allowing traffic, small vehicles to come down and provide a drop-off area for the viewing plaza and make turning movements and still allow access to the existing parking area that's on the upper right-hand side of the screen there. That's existing parking for a private business. So we're going to maintain that access to that parking area. It's a general overview. On the left-hand side, the sidewalk that is on the left-hand side of the park is basically going to be replaced as it currently is. It's going to be a steeply sloping sidewalk, just replaced with new sidewalk. There's not really a whole lot we can do there. But on the right-hand side is where we're going to incorporate stairs to transition, again, up that slope and make connections to the different seating levels within the amphitheater area. So this next image is a plan view of the park area. Again, down on the bottom along Fayette Street, you'll see that circular stage area down to the bottom left. And you'll see the 6-tiered seating areas through the amphitheater seating area. You'll see, again, you'll notice that a lot of green space is created down along the street level as your view up from Fayette Street. And then you'll also notice in the middle, the rectangular area, that's the middle viewing area, viewing plaza, where the statue will be located. And as we continue up again, that's the drop-off area for accessibility. Further up is the oval-shaped green space with a flagpole in the middle, several benches in that location there just for a small space to gather. And then the accessible handicap ramps, ADA ramps will also be improved up along Forest Street as well. So these are a couple views to take a look. This is basically looking from the sidewalk down on Fayette Street, looking up towards the amphitheater area. We do have a sign that's incorporated into the viewing plaza retaining wall that'll read the Veterans Memorial Plaza. There'll be lighting. Incorporated into the actual handrails going up the stairs, so it illuminates the steps going up, as well as several of the borough's historic fixtures will be located within the park as well for lighting. We're providing power down by the stage area to support performances down there. And one more image here is from basically looking from the viewing plaza down towards Fayette Street, and kind of looking down along the seating area down towards the street. You'll get that backdrop of the Great American Pub there, and you'll have a nice view from up in that area. So those are the images that I have to share. Are there any questions about the general design?
Yeah, I do. One's more of a comment. I just want to point out, as you're going through this, right, we're calling, as of right now, calling it Veterans Memorial Plaza, this is really a park. There's no fencing cutting off anything, correct?
The only railing will be at that viewing plaza just for safety.
Right, so this is accessible even when they're not events. This becomes a pocket park,
Correct,
right?
correct, yes.
And then you have it in quotations here, but the family monument, right? You're referring to the Veterans Family Memorial that we have in storage, correct?
That's correct.
That becomes a focal point of this plaza.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, good, thank you.
One of the other features of this project, we will be, we're coordinating with Pico and Verizon and Comcast to remove the utility poles that are along there. So right now, the view, you would see those poles. So part of this view, we'll be removing those poles. So that would be very similar to the view that you would see at that park there. Timeline-wise, we are planning to come back before you in November to request authorization to advertise the project. Our opinion of probable cost for the project is about $2,250,000. So, if that goes well, the award we have scheduled for potentially in December, and that would allow the contractors to start in about March or April when the construction weather becomes viable. And then the goal would be to finish in September in time for Fun Fest. So this could be utilized for that space and could really draw a lot of people into the area and show off what the borough has been able to build in that area.
So this is a capital 2026 project.
It is, and it is in your capital packets, and they will be discussed on September 24th at the budget meeting as part of an overall borough capital request.
Any additional questions?
I think it looks lovely.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, especially this really helps with these renderings to see what it'd be like.
I like the mariachi band too.
Of
Cool.
course
We
you
should
do.
get one of those. Yeah, I do. I dig that stuff.
So it's coming.
He's envisioning you have to provide that too as part of the project.
Oh, opening ceremony mariachi.
We'll get working on that now. Karen and Chris, thank you very much for
Job well done.
working through this with us, presenting us with this final rendering, getting us on schedule, and getting us the final numbers that we need to consider as part of the 2026 fiscal year budget.
And I like that we're adding grass back in an area that is currently macadam. So, great.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brian, you ready? So our next presentation is a one-way traffic pattern trial results on the East 2nd Avenue. So Brian is our traffic engineer, and he is going to go through your study.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So I'm here to talk about the other side of the plaza, that section of 2nd Avenue between Fayette and Harry. The borough initiated a pilot project, I would call it, earlier this year to consider changing East 2nd Avenue from two-way travel to one-way in the eastbound direction. So effectively, travel will be limited to turning in from Fayette Street, but you'd not be allowed to turn from Harry Street. And all traffic, would then travel to Harry Street, south on Harry, and out to East First Avenue. So the main reasons that this initiative was suggested was to improve safety, not only at the intersection of Fayette and 2nd Avenue, but along 2nd Avenue itself. So the goals of implementing this change were to improve safety for both pedestrians crossing Fayette and East 2nd Avenue at the crosswalks, improve safety for vehicles leaving 2nd Avenue previously, trying to make a left or right turn onto Fayette. At any unsignalized intersection, such as 2nd Avenue, left turns are challenging during all times, but peak hours especially. And then the other aspect of improving the safety along 2nd between Harry and Fayette was, due to the very frequent parking maneuvers, cars parking, unparking, waiting for parking to open in there during, peak hours and lunchtime, as well as the frequent delivery vehicles. So, it presented the perception of traffic having to often wait, block parking spaces, block the crosswalk, have to go the wrong way down the street to go around a delivery truck. So the thinking to change this to one way, at least as a trial, was to see if it better accommodated some of those daily interactions. And just to explain the conflicts that we're trying to eliminate. So at any unsignalized intersection, we have conflicts where people need to use a lot of judgment when they either enter traffic from the side street or exit traffic from the main street onto the side street. So you can see at a normal T intersection where we're allowing traffic to exit from the side street, the minor approach, we'll call it, onto the main street. We have a number of potential conflict points, not only with the crosswalks, but with traffic traveling on the main street. So you can see the number of conflict points that could result in a collision at any given intersection. So under the two-way travel, you can see we have upwards of 9, easily identifiable conflict points. Intuitively, when we change the operation to one-way, in this case, one-way away from Fayette, we're outright eliminating a number of those potential conflict points with the vehicular turns exiting 2nd Avenue, and we're greatly reducing the conflicts where right turns effectively, crossing the crosswalk to head north on Fayette, or left turns crossing the crosswalk to head south on Fayette. That movement has been removed so that now really the only conflict is the through traffic on Fayette Street. So we're reducing that potential for an issue there. So very briefly, based on our evaluation, before this was implemented, we looked at the traffic volumes at the intersection and looked at, well, what would that diversion do to effectively 3rd Avenue if people were to, preemptively not come down Harry to use 2nd and they would use 3rd. But more importantly, a lot of traffic we envision would come down to East First Avenue instead of exiting via 2nd Avenue. And when we looked at that before and after comparison, we noticed very little real difference at East First Avenue, so there was really no negative impact. And we did observe a number, a good amount of reduced pedestrian conflicts, primarily with the heavy right turn that previously existed. So the vast majority of the traffic exiting East 2nd Avenue before the one-way conversion was making that right turn to head north on Fayette Street. And that crosswalk carries a pretty good amount of pedestrians during the peak hours. So as can be expected, leaving an unsignalized intersection like that, even a good driver, their focus is usually looking to the left when they make that right turn. And it's not unusual to potentially not see a pedestrian on the corner or attempting to cross the crosswalk. If this one-way conversion stays, the next step I would point out is that there could be some potential modifications to the parking there to maybe increase the number of spaces if we do a different configuration, or the extra width that was previously there from the two-way flow could be narrowed slightly, and maybe improvements to the sidewalk could be made. But effectively, from a traffic perspective, we've seen very little negative impacts from the conversion, and we see a lot of safety benefits at the intersection.
Anyone have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Ryan, just based off of the conclusions that you have provided to council this evening and to the administration, there is going to be a recommendation to move forward with making that Second Avenue one-way permanent. Those items, those conclusions that you have up on the screen, we're going to use as the justification for that recommendation. And is there anything, there's nothing else that we should add at this point, correct?
I don't think so. I mean, we're comfortable with that. And adding any other supporting information that you might need, yeah. Sure.
So minimal traffic impact and safety has been improved twofold.
Well,
from what?
I don't know if it's twofold, because the traffic leaving Second Avenue is still much less than the traffic traveling on Fayette.
Gotcha.
But it's certainly safer than it was before. Not that it was unsafe, but this configuration we believe is safer.
Less, what did you call them? Less conflict points.
There are less conflict points. That's, yeah.
Thank you.
That's clear.
Yeah. All right, great, thanks.
You're welcome.
And there is no vote on this evening, so we will see it again on our agenda in 2 weeks.
Correct.
Okay.
And that will also include recommendations to alternate some of the temporary parking configurations from that area to permanent, and then everything will go through whatever required ordinance process amendments.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is to consider appointment of Chair of the Conshohocken Human Relations Commission. So it looks like I am looking for a motion to appoint Allison Raymond as the chair for the Conshohocken Human Relations Commission.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion.
And a second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda falls under manager matters, and it is to consider approving 720 Springville Avenue financial security escrow release in the amount of $539,595.25. Looking for a motion to approve the escrow release in that amount.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next item is a discussion on the borough's 2026 minimum municipal obligations, MMO. So Steph, could you, since I got my tongue tied there on my M's, could you take over?
Yes. We have minimum municipal obligations for each of our 3 pension plans, so police, fire, and non-uniform. These are included in your 2026 fiscal year budget, and we are required by Act 205 to approve the amounts prior to September 30th. So they are being discussed this evening, and they'll be back on your agenda on the 17th for approval. The police pension plan obligation is $951,239. The fire pension plan obligation is $67,767. The non-uniform pension plan obligation is $379,455.
Any questions on the MMO obligation? Okay. No vote this evening required. Next item on the agenda is, it looks like department matters, and we have no department matter items this evening. Looks like we have no legal matter items this evening, so we will move right into our council and mayor matters. So, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we are in the busy time here in Conshohocken. I did want to just recap a couple events that happened since our last meeting. We had the Conchi Strong Bingo at the VFW, probably our biggest one yet, and everything went great. Weather was perfect. A lot of guest stars here calling bingo for us, and Anita's wonderful husband Rick took over for Walt as our caller. So thank you to everyone that supported, and we look forward to giving proceeds from the event to Colonial Neighborhood Council. We also had, there's a second running club in town, also called the Conshohocken Running Club, and they invited myself and our officers to talk about trail safety. And it was a great showing. There were probably 60, 70 runners there, and more than just like the trail safety talk, I think it's important to make sure residents interact with our officers, that we all kind of see each other's faces, and make sure they know they can call for anything big or small. So if they see something that doesn't look right on the trail, or something doesn't feel right, that they can give a call, and that there's no issue too small to give a call. So thank you for the invite, and thank you to our squad of officers that came down to mingle and talk with our Conshohocken runners. And then we have, in a couple weeks, on the 13th, our annual paper shredding event for residents. It is free of charge. It'll be at the B-Field parking lot from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And rumor has it, since I lost our partners, they moved locations, we're going to have the Friends of Conchi Parks help with lifting boxes and getting them to the shredder. So thank you to the Friends of Conchi Parks. And finally, we have on the 22nd at 6 o'clock right here in Borough Hall in our Emergency Operations Center, a town hall with me and Representative Greg Scott. We're going to talk about all the wonderful constituent services that our offices offer, and open the floor to ideas for more potential services. Rep Scott's office is asking that people that want to attend please RSVP. So the number is there on the bottom to give the office a call, or repgregscott.com/events. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Ralph, anything this evening? Stace?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Kat? Anita?
No.
Nope.
Adrian and Alan?
Nothing. Thank you.
And I have nothing this evening. Did we get any public comment during the meeting?
We did not.
Any public comment out in the audience today? Hearing no public comment, I will call the meeting adjourned. Great meeting, everyone.